name's Lani and I'm an orchestra director at Alamo Heights Junior School in San Antonio, Texas.
And I'm Johanna Kitchell, the orchestra director at Riverside Junior High in Fishers, Indiana. We're going to take a look at some beginning exercises you can do to prepare your students for shifting in the classroom. It's important from the very beginning that students feel comfortable moving their hand around the fingerboard. So even at the very beginning level, I do this with my first month students even, you want them moving their hand up and down the fingerboard. Lani's going to be demonstrating on upper strings, and I'll be demonstrating these exercises for your lower strings. So that sliding just looks like this.
Sometimes, Johanna, I will tell my upper string students at the end to touch their nose to really get them to go up really high.
And I'll tell my lower string students to take their hand all the way to the bridge and all the way back up. And they can touch the bridge and come all the way back up.
Sometimes I find, Johanna, that my students are also clenching the neck really tightly with their thumb. And you and I both know that a loose thumb is the key to really good shifting technique. So I like to challenge my students and see if they can play a D scale while keeping that thumb in motion as they're playing. You want to try it with me?
Sure.
It's a little hard. Here we go. Let's try a few notes of the D scale. You're going to find that some of your students have difficulty with this at first, but if you do it often with your students, it's going to help emphasize really good technique.
Another exercise to do is to do that same sliding up and down, but with a light pressure so that the string harmonics come out. So we're going to do this on our A string, and you'll hear the harmonics sliding in and out as we slide our hands. If you get comfortable with that, you can then have students start to push their finger down. This is one of my students' favorite things to do in class, and it really creates a cacophony of sounds. But it's a really great exercise that we call Sirens. It's the same motion as the harmonics, but with pressing down. A few things to keep an eye out for. As your cellos and basses start sliding to higher positions, you want to ensure that their left forearm doesn't slap against the top of their cello. It's not a great sound and not something that's written in the music, so not something we'd want to hear. So to avoid that, have them raise their elbow a little higher and rotate their forearm forward. That will avoid the slap.
Sometimes with upper string students, we have a very similar issue. Many students will use the edge of the shoulder to find third position, but then keep their wrist there, and then you're breaking the wrist and using poor technique. Make sure that when the students are shifting, they're not touching the side of the instrument till they go past fifth position. Fifth position is when they start to move that thumb around. So as you're doing these exercises, make sure to tell your students to maintain the same technique until they get to the edge of the neck and move their wrist over the instrument.
These beginning exercises will help ensure that your students are ready to shift in class.